The fascination with unidentified flying objects, UFOs, now often termed unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, and alleged extraterrestrial encounters has captivated humanity across centuries and continents, blending ancient myths, modern sightings, and speculative theories about alien life. From ancient texts describing celestial chariots to military radar tracking inexplicable objects, these stories encompass sightings, abductions, direct interactions, and claims of aliens living or being captured on Earth. This comprehensive top 100 list compiles all distinctive incidents, drawn from historical records, credible witness accounts, and official investigations. Each entry provides a detailed description, highlighting the event's context, key details, witness testimonies, investigations, and cultural or historical significance, while acknowledging the speculative nature of many claims due to limited scientific evidence. This compilation aims to offer a thorough exploration of humanity's enduring quest to understand the unknown, presenting a diverse array of incidents that have shaped UFO lore and public imagination, from prehistoric art to modern congressional hearings. These narratives inspire curiosity about our place in the cosmos, blending mystery with wonder and prompting reflection on whether we are alone or sharing our world with unseen visitors, fueling ongoing debates and scientific inquiry. Top 100 UFO and Space Alien Stories. 1. Roswell Incident, 1947, USA. In July 1947, a rancher near Roswell, New Mexico, discovered unusual debris, prompting the U.S. Army Air Force to announce the recovery of a flying disc before retracting the claim, stating it was a weather balloon from Project Mogul, a secret surveillance program. Eyewitnesses, including military personnel like Jesse Marcel, reported metallic materials and alleged alien bodies, with some claiming autopsies occurred at Area 51. Declassified documents in the 1990s confirmed the balloon story, but conspiracy theories about a government cover-up persisted, fueled by local testimonies and books like the Roswell Incident, 1980. The event, lacking definitive evidence of aliens, became a cultural phenomenon, inspiring festivals, TV shows, and films, cementing its status as the most iconic UFO case in history. 2. Phoenix Lights, 1997, USA. On March 13, 1997, thousands of Arizona residents, from Tucson to Nevada, witnessed a massive V-shaped formation of lights moving silently across the night sky, with some describing a solid, mile-wide triangular craft. The event, lasting hours, was reported by pilots, police, and civilians, including Governor Fife Symington, who later admitted seeing a craft unlike any known aircraft. The Air Force attributed it to flares from a training exercise, but witnesses disputed this, citing the lights. Deliberate movement. A second wave of lights later that night added to the mystery, and despite no radar confirmation, the scale of credible testimonies made it one of the largest mass sightings, inspiring documentaries and fueling debates about UAP origins. 3. USS Nimitz Incident, 2004, USA. In November 2004, Navy pilots from the USS Nimitz, including Commander David Fravor, encountered a white oval tic-tac object off California's coast, performing impossible maneuvers at high speeds. Tracked on radar and FLIR, the object lacked visible propulsion. The Pentagon's 2020 confirmation of the video and lack of explanation fueled speculation of advanced technology or aliens. The case's military credibility and official acknowledgement made it a pivotal modern UAP event influencing congressional UAP hearings. 4. Rendlesham Forest Incident, 1980, UK. Over several nights in December 1980, U.S. Air Force personnel at RAF Woodbridge in Suffolk, England, reported a triangular craft with glowing lights landing in Rendlesham Forest. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt documented the event, noting physical traces like elevated radiation levels and tree damage, while Sergeant Jim Peniston claimed to receive a telepathic binary code from touching the craft. The UK Ministry of Defence dismissed it as non-threatening, suggesting a lighthouse or meteor, but Halt's detailed memo and audio recordings, combined with the military's credibility, made it compelling. Skeptics question the evidence, but the case, dubbed Britain's Roswell, remains a cornerstone of UFO research, with ongoing analysis of the binary code's alleged extraterrestrial message. 5. USS Theodore Roosevelt sightings, 2014 to 2015, USA. Between 2014 and 2015, Navy pilots from the USS Theodore Roosevelt recorded gimbal and go-fast UAP videos off the Atlantic coast, showing objects with no visible propulsion or wings maneuvering at high speeds. Released by the Pentagon in 2020, the videos prompted a 2021 UAP Task Force report. No explanation has been confirmed, though advanced technology is speculated. The case's official documentation and pilot testimonies elevated UAP discussions, legitimizing UFO research in mainstream discourse. 6. Betty and Barney Hill abduction, 1961 USA. On September 19th to 20th, 1961, Betty and Barney Hill, an interracial couple from New Hampshire, claimed aliens abducted them while driving, describing gray aliens conducting medical exams and telepathically showing a star map later linked to Zeta Reticuli. Hypnosis sessions revealed consistent details, and physical evidence included a torn dress and scuffed shoes. Vetted by psychologists, their account became the first widely publicized abduction case. Skeptics suggest sleep deprivation or cultural influence, but the case's detail and the Hills' credibility inspired a 1975 TV movie and set the template for abduction narratives in UFO lore. 7. Belgium UFO wave, 1989 to 1990, Belgium. From November 1989 to April 1990, over 13,500 witnesses across Belgium reported silent, triangular craft with bright lights, often hovering or moving slowly. On March 30th, 1990, two F-16 jets chased objects tracked by NATO radar, recording erratic maneuvers at speeds exceeding known aircraft. 2,600 formal statements, including from police, supported the sightings, and the Belgian Air Force released data but offered no explanation, ruling out conventional aircraft. Photos and radar evidence bolstered credibility, though skeptics suggest secret military tests like stealth aircraft. The event's transparency and scale made it one of Europe's most documented UFO waves, influencing global UAP research and public fascination. 8. Aerial school encounter, 1994, Zimbabwe. On September 16, 1994, over 60 schoolchildren at Aerial School in Rua, Zimbabwe, reported a silver UFO landing in a field during recess, with small, black-eyed humanoid aliens emerging. The children described telepathic messages warning about environmental destruction, captured in detailed interviews and drawings. Teachers initially dismissed the claims, but Harvard psychiatrist John Mack found no evidence of fabrication. Noting the children's emotional sincerity, no physical evidence was recovered, and skeptics suggest mass hysteria or cultural influence. But the consistent, unprompted testimonies gained global attention, making it a landmark case for child witnesses and telepathic alien communication in UFO lore. 9. Tehran UFO incident, 1976, Iran. On September 19, 1976, two Iranian Air Force jets chased a bright, multicolored object over Tehran, reporting instrument failures and radar lock-ons. A smaller object detached from the main craft, and ground witnesses, including air traffic controllers, corroborated the sightings. The U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency investigated, calling it a classic case, but no official explanation emerged. Skeptics suggest a planet like Jupiter or atmospheric phenomena, but the military documentation and equipment malfunctions lend credibility, making it a key case in global military UFO encounters. 10. Virginia incident, 1996, Brazil. In January 1996, 3 girls in Virginia, Brazil, encountered a red-eyed, oily-skinned alien creature with V-shaped feet, appearing injured. Other witnesses, including police and hospital staff, reported similar beings, with rumors of military capture and U.S. involvement. Brazilian officials denied the claims, but local testimony suggested a crashed UFO and captured aliens, possibly dead. No physical evidence surfaced, and skeptics propose a misidentified human or animal, but the cases. Multiple witnesses and alleged cover-up inspired a 2022 film and made it Brazil's most famous UFO event, fueling global alien capture narratives. 11. Kenneth Arnold sighting, 1947, USA. On June 24, 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold saw 9 crescent-shaped objects near Mount Rainier, Washington, moving at speeds exceeding 1,200 miles per hour. He described them as saucers skipping on water, coining the term flying saucer. The Air Force investigated, suggesting reflections, but Arnold's credibility as a pilot made it a landmark case. Skeptics propose atmospheric phenomena, but the sighting launched the modern UFO era, shaping public fascination and media coverage. 12. Travis Walton abduction, 1975, USA. On November 5, 1975, logger Travis Walton was allegedly struck by a beam from a UFO in Arizona's Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, witnessed by 6 co-workers who fled. Missing for 5 days, Walton described telepathic impressions and medical exams aboard craft. His co-workers passed polygraph tests supporting their story, though skeptics allege a hoax for financial gain. The detailed account and group testimony made it a benchmark abduction case, inspiring the 1993 film Fire in the Sky, and fueling debates about alien abductions and physical evidence. 13. O'Hare Airport sighting, 2006, USA. On November 7, 2006, United Airlines workers, pilots, and ground crew at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport observed a metallic, disc-shaped object hovering over gate C-17 for several minutes before it shot upward, leaving a circular hole in the clouds. No radar confirmation was reported, and the FAA dismissed it as a weather phenomenon, possibly a hole punch cloud. Multiple credible witnesses, including supervisors, insisted the object was solid and unexplained, and the lack of official investigation fueled cover-up theories. The event's urban setting and professional testimonies garnered widespread media coverage, cementing its status as a modern UFO mystery with significant public intrigue. 14. Ezekiel's vision, 593 BC Israel. In the book of Ezekiel, the Hebrew prophet described a wheel within a wheel with 4 living creatures and fiery lights in ancient Babylon, interpreted by some as a UFO encounter due to its mechanical and celestial imagery. Scholars view it as religious symbolism, but ufologists like Eric von Daniken cite it as evidence of alien technology. The vivid description and biblical context make it a foundational ancient astronaut theory, bridging religious texts and modern UFO speculation. 15. Pascagoula abduction, 1973, USA. On October 11, 1973, fishermen Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker claimed aliens abducted them from a Mississippi riverbank, describing a buzzing craft and telepathic communication during medical exams by floating beings. Both passed lie detector tests, and their emotional distress was captured in secret recordings. No physical evidence was found, and skeptics suggest hallucination or fabrication. But the case's sincerity, media coverage, and the men's consistent accounts made it one of the most credible abduction cases, influencing UFO research and public perception of alien encounters. 16. Shag Harbor Incident, 1967, Canada. On October 4, 1967, residents of Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia, saw a glowing object crash into the ocean, leaving yellow foam. Fishermen, RCMP, and the Canadian Navy investigated, with divers reporting lights moving underwater, suggesting a craft. The government labeled it a UFO, but offered no explanation, and no debris was officially recovered. Skeptics suggest a flare or meteor, but the event's multiple witnesses and official response made it Canada's best documented UFO case, inspiring annual festivals and ongoing research into possible extraterrestrial activity. 17. Whitley Strieber abduction, 1985, USA. Starting in December 1985, author Whitley Strieber claimed repeated abductions by gray aliens in New York, describing telepathic messages, medical exams, and cryptic warnings about humanity's future under hypnosis. His book Communion, 1987, became a bestseller, detailing vivid alien encounters. Skeptics question his mental state or literary motives, but his sincerity and detailed descriptions popularized the gray alien archetype, significantly shaping abduction narratives and public perception of extraterrestrial encounters worldwide. 18. Westall UFO encounter, 1966, Australia. On April 6, 1966, over 200 students and teachers at Westall High School in Melbourne, Australia, witnessed a silver, disc-shaped UFO land in a nearby field, hover, and depart rapidly. Some students approached the site before military personnel arrived, reportedly cordoning off the area. Witnesses described a craft 20 to 30 feet wide with no visible propulsion, and physical traces like flattened grass were noted. The Australian government offered no official explanation, and records are scarce, leading to cover-up theories. Skeptics suggest a balloon or experimental craft, but the mass testimony and lack of closure inspired a 2010 documentary and ongoing witness reunions, making it Australia's most famous UFO case. 19. Los Angeles Battle, 1942, USA. On February 25, 1942, anti-aircraft guns fired over 1,400 rounds at a slow-moving object over Los Angeles, illuminated by spotlights. Seen by thousands post-Pearl Harbor, the Battle of LA was officially attributed to a weather balloon, but photos and witness accounts fueled UFO theories, with some claiming a craft or aliens were captured. The wartime context and lack of debris added mystery, making it a foundational event in early UFO cover-up narratives. 20. Mahabharata and Ramayana Vimanas, circa 1000 BC, India. Ancient Indian epics like the Mahabharata and Ramayana describe Vimanas, flying machines piloted by gods or beings, with detailed accounts of aerial battles and advanced propulsion. Texts like the Vimanika Shastra outline designs, though scholars argue they're mythological. Ufologists see evidence of ancient alien visits, and the text specificity fuels speculation. Central to ancient astronaut theories, these accounts influence global UFO narratives and connect mythology to extraterrestrial possibilities. 21. Japan Airlines Flight 1628, 1986, USA. On November 17, 1986, the crew of Japan Airlines Flight 1628, led by Captain Kenju Terachi, reported a massive UFO described as walnut-shaped and the size of an aircraft carrier over Alaska. Ground radar confirmed the object, and the crew noted smaller lights pacing the plane. The FAA investigated, ruling out conventional aircraft, and Terachi's detailed account gained credibility. Skeptics suggest Jupiter or weather phenomena, but the case's radar and pilot testimony make it a high-profile aviation UFO incident. 22. Allagash abduction, 1976, USA. On August 20th, 1976, 4 men camping in Maine's Allagash wilderness reported being abducted by aliens after seeing a bright light. Under hypnosis, they described medical exams and telepathic messages about the aliens' purpose, with consistent accounts from all 4, including twin brothers. Sketches and interviews supported their claims, but no physical evidence was recovered. Skeptics suggest shared delusion or cultural influence, but the group's detailed testimony featured in TV documentaries makes it a key abduction case with strong witness corroboration. 23. Kecksburg Incident, 1965, USA. On December 9, 1965, a fireball crashed in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, described as a bell-shaped object with hieroglyph-like markings. Witnesses claimed the military secured the site and removed the object, possibly with an alien occupant. NASA later attributed it to a meteor, but locals reported secrecy, and no debris release. Skeptics suggest a Soviet satellite, but the event's military response and cover-up theories inspired TV specials and a local UFO model, making it a prominent crash case. 24. Ancient Sumerian Anunnaki, circa 3000 BC Mesopotamia. Sumerian texts describe the Anunnaki, sky gods who descended to Earth, possibly creating humans, interpreted by ufologists like Zecharia Sitchin as aliens living among early civilizations. Scholars view them as mythological deities, but the texts detailed cosmology fuel speculation. A pillar of ancient astronaut theories, the Anunnaki narrative links archaeology to UFOs, influencing modern extraterrestrial origin theories and popular culture. 25. Cache Landrum Incident, 1980, USA. On December 29, 1980, Betty Cash, Vicki Landrum, and a child in Texas encountered a diamond-shaped UFO emitting intense heat. Accompanied by military helicopters, they suffered radiation-like burns and illness, with medical records supporting their claims. The military denied involvement, and no craft was identified. Skeptics suggest a secret experiment, but the physical effects and multiple witnesses make it a rare case with medical evidence, raising questions about military complicity in UFO encounters. 26. Antonio Vilas Boas abduction, 1957, Brazil. On October 16, 1957, Brazilian farmer Antonio Vilas Boas claimed aliens abducted him from a field, forcing a reproductive encounter with a humanoid female. He described a glowing craft, medical exams, and physical symptoms like burns and nausea afterward. His detailed account, given before abduction stories were widely known, was deemed credible by early UFO researchers. Skeptics suggest fantasy or illness, but the case's specificity and early timing shaped later reproductive alien narratives, making it a foundational abduction story in UFO history. 27. Lakenheath Bentwaters Incident, 1956, UK. On August 13th to 14th, 1956, RAF and USAF bases in Lakenheath and Bentwaters, England, tracked fast-moving objects on radar, with pilots and ground personnel observing glowing lights performing erratic maneuvers. The Ministry of Defense found no explanation, and radar visual corroboration added credibility. Skeptics suggest radar errors or meteors, but the military's detailed reports make it a significant case, highlighting the reliability of combined radar and visual UFO evidence in military settings. 28. Nuremberg Celestial Event, 1561, Germany. On April 14, 1561, Nuremberg residents reported cylinders, spheres, and crosses battling in the sky. Depicted in a woodcut by Hans Glaser, the hours-long event ended with objects crashing, witnessed by thousands. Scholars suggest a sundog or aurora, but ufologists claim an alien conflict. The detailed artwork and mass testimony make it a vivid historical UFO case, influencing 16th century perceptions and modern ancient astronaut theories. 29. Kelly Hopkinsville Encounter, 1955, USA. On August 21, 1955, the Sutton family in Kelly, Kentucky reported small, glowing aliens attacking their farmhouse after a UFO landed nearby. The family engaged in a 4-hour shootout, firing at the seemingly unharmed creatures. Police found gunfire damage, but no aliens, and the family's terror and consistent accounts were compelling. Skeptics suggest owls or mass hysteria, but the dramatic close encounter case with its vivid details influenced folklore about little green men and remains a unique blend of UFO and physical confrontation narratives. 30. Voronezh Incident, 1989, Russia. On September 27, 1989, children and adults in Voronezh, Russia, reported a UFO landing in a park with tall, three-eyed aliens and a robot-like figure emerging. Soviet media, including TASS, covered it extensively, unusual for the era. No physical evidence was found, and skeptics suggest mass hysteria or Cold War propaganda. But the event's public reporting and multiple witnesses made it a rare Soviet-era UFO case. gaining global attention for its openness. 31. Zeta Reticuli abduction, 1967, USA. In 1967, amateur astronomer Marjorie Fish, inspired by the Betty and Barney Hill abduction, proposed their star map matched the Zeta Reticuli system, 39 light-years away, based on their 1961 telepathic descriptions of alien origins. The Hill's hypnosis sessions detailed discussions with aliens about their home system. Skeptics argue the map's accuracy is coincidental, but Fish's analysis fueled speculation about extraterrestrial origins, making it a pivotal case linking abductions to a specific star system and influencing UFO lore's astronomical focus. 32. Collar's Island Flap, 1977, Brazil. In 1977, residents of Collar's, Brazil, reported UFOs emitting beams that caused burns, fainting, and puncture marks, prompting the Brazilian Air Force's Operation Saucer to investigate. Declassified files document lights and injuries, with military photos of glowing objects. No conclusive explanation emerged, and skeptics suggest psychological or natural causes. The case's official investigation and physical effects make it a significant South American UFO event, highlighting alleged alien hostility. 33. Star of Bethlehem, circa 5 BC, Middle East. The biblical account of a bright star guiding the Magi to Jesus' birth around 5 BE is speculated by some to be a UFO or alien signal due to its unusual movement. Astronomers propose a comet or planetary conjunction, but ufologists see extraterrestrial involvement. The event's religious significance and celestial mystery make it a unique crossover, sparking debates about ancient celestial phenomena and their potential extraterrestrial origins. 34. George Adamski contact, 1952, USA. On November 20th, 1952, George Adamski claimed to meet a Venusian named Orton in California's Mojave Desert, describing verbal and telepathic conversations about Earth's peace and aliens living among humans to observe. His photos and books gained a cult following, but skeptics label it a hoax, citing poor image quality and Venus in hospitable conditions. Despite doubts, Adamski's detailed accounts and early contactee status influence New Age UFO beliefs, making him a pioneer in the contactee movement. 35. Dulce Base Conspiracy, 1979 present, USA. Whistleblower Paul Benowitz claimed a secret underground base in Dulce, New Mexico, housed captured greys and human experiments, based on alleged communications and sightings starting in 1979. Rumors include recovered crash survivors and alien government collaboration. No physical evidence exists, and Benowitz's mental health was questioned, with declassified documents suggesting disinformation. The story's persistence in UFO lore, fueled by conspiracy theories, makes it a cornerstone of claims about alien captivity and secret facilities. 36. Fatima Miracle, 1917, Portugal. On October 13, 1917, approximately 70,000 people in Fatima, Portugal, witnessed the sun dance and change colors linked to Marian apparitions reported by 3 children. Ufologists speculate a UFO or alien presence due to the celestial display, while the Catholic Church attributes it to a divine miracle. Skeptics cite atmospheric optics like a sundog. The event's mass testimony and religious context make it a unique crossover, sparking debates about celestial phenomena and potential extraterrestrial involvement. 37. Coin Helicopter Incident, 1973, USA. On October 18, 1973, an Army Reserve helicopter crew near Mansfield, Ohio, encountered a cylindrical UFO emitting a green beam, disrupting instruments and causing an unexplained descent. Ground witnesses corroborated the light, and the crew's detailed account was investigated by the military, which offered no explanation. Skeptics suggest a meteor, but the close encounter and physical effects make it a rare military aviation case, contributing to UFO interference narratives. 38. Val Camonica Cave art, circa 10,000 BC, Italy. Prehistoric carvings in Val Camonica, Italy, depict figures in what appear to be helmets or suits, interpreted by some as ancient astronauts. Dated to around 10,000 BC, the art is likely ritualistic, but ufologists see evidence of alien visitors. Among Europe's oldest rock art, it connects prehistory to UFO speculation, making it a key piece of ancient astronaut evidence, despite scholarly skepticism. 39. Socorro Incident, 1964, USA. On April 24, 1964, policeman Lonnie Zamora in Socorro, New Mexico, saw an egg-shaped craft with a red insignia and two small beings. He reported physical traces like burn marks and indentations. Project Blue Book investigated, deeming it unexplained. Skeptics suggest a prank or experimental craft, but Zamora's credibility and physical evidence make it a standout single-witness case, frequently cited in UFO studies for its detailed documentation. 40. Billy Meyer Contact, 1975-present, Switzerland. Starting in 1975, Swiss farmer Billy Meyer claimed ongoing telepathic and verbal contact with Pleiadian aliens living in hidden Earth bases, producing photos, videos, and metal samples. His detailed accounts of Pleiadian culture and warnings about Earth-attractive followers. But investigations deemed much of his evidence fabricated. Despite controversy, the case's longevity and volume of material made it influential, inspiring UFO cults and debates about authenticity in contactee narratives. 41. Tunguska Event, 1908, Russia. On June 30th, 1908, a massive explosion flattened 2,000 square kilometers of Siberian forest, with no crater found. Scientists favor a meteor airburst, but ufologists claim a crashed alien craft, supported by eyewitness reports of a bright object and shockwave. No alien evidence exists, and the event's remote location limited investigation. Its mysterious nature and scale fuel speculation, making it a debated case linking natural disasters to possible extraterrestrial causes. 42. Elizabeth Clara Abduction, 1956, South Africa. In 1956, Elizabeth Clara claimed telepathic and verbal contact with an alien named Akon from Meton, who lived temporarily on Earth. She described a romantic encounter and messages about Earth's future, detailed in her book Beyond the Light Barrier, with physical symptoms and an alleged artifact. Skeptics suggest fantasy or mental health issues, but the case's rare female perspective and detailed narrative influenced African UFO lore, standing out for its emotional and romantic elements. 43. Wright-Patterson AFB UAP Swarms, 2024, USA. In 2024, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio halted operations due to swarms of unidentified objects, described via thermal imaging as lights moving in groups, linked to Roswell debris storage theories. The event involved military radar and pilot observations. No official explanation was released, and skeptics suggest drones or weather phenomena. The base's historical UFO ties and recent congressional UAP focus amplified its significance, making it a notable modern military encounter. 44. Basel Sky Battle, 1566, Switzerland. On August 7, 1566, Basel residents saw red and black spheres maneuvering in the sky, recorded in a broadsheet by Samuel Coccius. The objects appeared to fight before vanishing, likely a sundog, but ufologists interpret it as a UFO event. The detailed contemporary account and artwork, paired with the Nuremberg event, reinforce 16th century UFO sightings, making it a key historical case with lasting influence on UFO studies. 45. Immaculate Constellation Program, alleged, USA, 2024. In 2024, journalist Michael Schellenberger testified to Congress about a secret U.S. program, Immaculate Constellation, allegedly collecting UAP crash materials and possibly aliens, based on whistleblower claims of secure facilities holding non-human entities. The Pentagon denied the program's existence and no evidence has surfaced. Skeptics dismiss it as unverified, but the testimony's high-profile nature and congressional attention reflect ongoing government secrecy debates, amplifying public interest in UAP investigations. 46. Valençol Encounter, 1965, France. On July 1, 1965, farmer Maurice Mass in Valençol, France, saw a UFO land in his lavender field, encountering two small beings. He reported a paralyzing sensation and later found affected plants. French authorities investigated, finding no conventional explanation. Skeptics suggest hallucination or a hoax, but the physical traces and Mass's sincerity make it a classic European encounter, noted for its agricultural evidence and detailed witness account. 47. Cape Girardeau Crash, 1941, USA. In April 1941, a pastor in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, allegedly witnessed a crashed UFO with small alien bodies, recovered by the military. The story, relayed decades later by family members, included claims of lost photos. No official records exist, and skeptics suggest fabrication, but the pre-Roswell timing and detailed family accounts add intrigue. The case bolstered claims of early UFO cover-ups, contributing to conspiracy narratives predating the modern UFO era. 48. Gulf Breeze Sightings, 1987 to 1988, USA. Starting in November 1987, Ed Walters photographed UFOs in Gulf Breeze, Florida, sparking a wave of local sightings. His images of glowing craft were debated, with skeptics alleging models, but multiple witnesses, including police, reported similar objects. MUFON investigated, finding no definitive hoax evidence. The case's photographic evidence and community involvement popularized UFO photography, making it a significant regional phenomenon despite ongoing authenticity disputes. 49. Alexander the Great's Flying Shields, 329 BCE, India. Historical accounts claim Alexander the Great's army saw silver shields in the sky during a 329 BCE campaign in India, causing panic among soldiers and elephants. The objects reportedly hovered and departed, but ancient sources are vague. Skeptics suggest meteors or folklore, while ufologists view it as an early mass sighting. The rarity of such historical references and Alexander's prominence make it a significant link between ancient records and modern UFO phenomena. 50. Mothman Sightings, 1966 to 1967, USA. From 1966 to 1967, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, residents reported a winged humanoid with red eyes, linked to UFO sightings, culminating in the 1967 Silver Bridge collapse. Witnesses describe telepathic fear, and ufologists speculate an alien connection. Skeptics suggest a bird like a sandhill crane, but the case's blend of UFO and cryptid elements inspired the Mothman Prophecies book and film, cementing its paranormal legacy. 51. Berwyn Mountains Incident, 1974, UK. On January 23, 1974, residents of Llandrillo, Wales, reported a loud explosion, tremors, and bright lights in the Berwyn Mountains. Some claimed military trucks removed wreckage or beings. Official reports cited an earthquake and meteor, but ufologists allege an alien craft was captured. Limited documentation and conflicting accounts fuel debate, with skeptics favoring natural causes. Known as the Welsh Roswell, the case remains a significant UK UFO mystery with enduring local intrigue. 52. Hudson Valley Sightings, 1983 to 1986, USA. From 1983 to 1986, thousands in New York's Hudson Valley reported boomerang-shaped UFOs with silent, low-flying lights. Pilots, police, and civilians witnessed the objects, often in formation. Skeptics suggest ultralight aircraft or mass misidentification, but the sighting scale and consistency defy easy explanation. Investigated by MUFON, the wave's regional impact and credible witnesses made it a major U.S. UFO event, influencing local UFO culture. 53. Roman Sky Objects, 218 BC Italy. Roman historian Livy recorded phantom ships gleaming in the sky during the Second Punic War in 218 BC, a brief account lacking detail but interpreted by ufologists as a mass UFO sighting. Scholars attribute it to atmospheric phenomena or wartime exaggeration, but its inclusion in historical texts adds intrigue. The event's early Western context makes it a notable precursor to modern UFO reports, contributing to historical UFO studies. 54. Trindade Island Photos, 1958, Brazil. On January 16, 1958, a Brazilian Navy ship photographed a Saturn-shaped UFO off Trindade Island. Witnessed by the crew, the images, authenticated by the Brazilian government, showed a glowing object. Skeptics suggest a hoax or lens flare, but the military context and official endorsement lend credibility. The case's photographic evidence and government involvement make it a benchmark for UFO photography, widely studied in South American UFO research. 55. Zimbabwe UFO flap, 1985, Zimbabwe. In 1985, multiple towns in Zimbabwe reported bright UFOs and humanoid figures, predating the aerial school encounter. Witnesses described telepathic impressions and hovering craft, with local media covering the sightings. No official investigation followed, and skeptics attribute it to cultural fears or misidentification. The flap's regional scope and precursor status to aerial make it notable, illustrating Zimbabwe's history of UFO activity and local belief in extraterrestrial presence. 56. Delphos Ring Incident, 1971, USA. On November 2, 1971, a Kansas family saw a glowing UFO hover, leaving a glowing ring in the soil. Chemical analysis revealed unusual compounds, and the family reported physical effects like eye irritation. MUFON investigated, finding no hoax evidence. Skeptics suggest fungal rings or a prank, but the physical trace evidence and detailed testimony make it a well-studied case, notable for its environmental impact and scientific scrutiny. 57. Tully Papyrus, circa 1450 BC, Egypt. A disputed Egyptian papyrus, allegedly from Thutmose III's reign, describes circles of fire moving erratically in the sky, startling scribes. The document's authenticity is questioned, with no original surviving, and scholars suggest mistranslation or myth. Ufologists cite it as ancient evidence of alien craft, and its early date fuels speculation about extraterrestrial visits in antiquity, making it a debated but influential piece of ancient astronaut lore. 58. Tully Saucer Nests, 1966, Australia. On January 19, 1966, a farmer in Tully, Queensland, found circular, flattened reed patterns after a UFO sighting. Police and RAF investigated, finding no explanation. Similar nests appeared globally, linked to UFOs. Skeptics cite whirlwinds or hoaxes, but the physical traces and early crop circle connection make it significant, influencing UFO research into environmental effects and inspiring later crop circle phenomena. 59. Aztec UFO Incident, 1948, USA. In March 1948, a disc-shaped craft allegedly crashed in Aztec, New Mexico, with 16 alien bodies reportedly recovered by the military. Popularized by Frank Scully's Behind the Flying Saucers, the story was later tied to a con man's hoax. Some ufologists defend its authenticity, but no physical evidence exists. Despite debunking, the case's early prominence and detailed claims shaped UFO crash literature, influencing conspiracy culture in the 1950s. 60. Falcon Lake Incident, 1967, Canada. On May 20th, 1967, Stephen Michalak reported a UFO landing in Manitoba, burning him with exhaust. He suffered grid-like burns and found radioactive soil at the site. Canadian authorities investigated, deeming it unexplained. Skeptics suggest a natural gas burn or fabrication, but the medical evidence and official response make it a compelling case, often cited for its physical and radiological evidence in Canadian UFO history. 61. Mexico's Zone of Silence Encounters, 1970s present Mexico. Since the 1970s, locals in Mexico's Chihuahuan Desert zone of silence reported tall, blonde Nordic aliens speaking fluent Spanish, asking for water before vanishing. Linked to magnetic anomalies and frequent UAP sightings, the area is rumored to host covert alien bases. No physical evidence exists, and skeptics cite folklore or hallucinations. But the consistent reports and unique, human-like alien descriptions draw paranormal researchers, making it a distinctive case of alleged alien presence on Earth. 62. Manas's UFO Incident, 1979, Spain. On November 11, 1979, a Spanish airliner diverted after a UFO with red lights approached, confirmed by radar and military jets. Ground witnesses reported similar lights, and the Spanish Air Force investigated, finding no explanation. Skeptics suggest a rocket launch or mirage, but the radar visual corroboration and aviation context make it a rare European case, contributing to military UFO encounter studies. 63. Harvard Cryptoterrestrial Hypothesis, 2024 USA. In 2024, Harvard researchers proposed that UAPs might originate from cryptoterrestrials, aliens living secretly on Earth, possibly underground or disguised as humans, citing historical sightings and modern UAP data, not tied to a specific encounter. The hypothesis suggests aliens coexist covertly. Critics argue it's speculative, but its academic origin and alignment with 2023 congressional UAP hearings gain traction, reframing debates about alien presence and influencing modern UFO scholarship. 64. Piedmont UFO Incident, 1973, USA. On October 17, 1973, a Missouri police officer reported a UFO and telepathic contact with beings warning of Earth's dangers. Local media covered the sighting, but no physical evidence emerged. Skeptics suggest stress-induced hallucination, but the officer's credibility and the 1973 UFO wave context make it notable. The case reflects the era's fascination with telepathic alien communication, adding to U.S. UFO lore. 65. Chupacabras attacks, 1995, Puerto Rico. Starting in 1995, Puerto Rican farmers reported livestock killings attributed to a reptilian creature, the chupacabras, linked to UFO sightings. Witnesses described glowing eyes and unnatural attacks, with some claiming alien connections. Authorities investigated, suggesting feral dogs, but the phenomenon spread across Latin America. The case's blend of UFO and cryptid elements, amplified by media, made it a cultural phenomenon, influencing paranormal narratives in the Americas. 66. A 70 abduction, 1990, Scotland. On August 17, 1990, two men driving on Scotland's A70 road claimed aliens abducted them, describing telepathic messages and medical exams under hypnosis. Physical marks were noted, and their consistent accounts were investigated by UFO researchers. Skeptics suggest sleep deprivation or hallucination, but the dual witness testimony and detailed hypnosis sessions make it a well-documented UK abduction case, contributing to European UFO narratives. 67. Aurora Incident, 1897, USA. On April 17, 1897, a Texas newspaper reported a UFO crashing into a windmill in Aurora, with an alien pilot allegedly buried in the local cemetery. Likely a hoax to boost the town's profile, no evidence survives, but the story gained attention in UFO lore. Skeptics dismiss it as 19th century sensationalism, but its pre-modern timing makes it an early American UFO tale, contributing to the mythology of crashed craft and alien burials. 68. Ilkley Moor Abduction, 1987, UK. On December 1, 1987, a retired policeman claimed abduction by aliens on Ilkley Moor, England, photographing a humanoid figure. Hypnosis revealed telepathic messages about the alien's purpose. The blurry photo is debated, with skeptics suggesting pareidolia or a hoax. The witnesses' credibility and photographic evidence, however disputed, make it a key UK case, notable for its rare attempt at visual documentation of an alien encounter. 69. Maury Island Incident, 1947, USA. On June 21, 1947, Harold Dahl claimed a UFO dropped slag-like debris near Maury Island, Washington, followed by threats from Men in Black. The Air Force investigated, and a related plane crash raised suspicions of foul play. Later deemed a hoax, the case introduced the Men in Black concept to UFO lore. Despite its questionable authenticity, its timing near the Kenneth Arnold sighting and conspiracy elements made it influential in early UFO narratives. 70. Gamar sighting, 1974, Spain. On June 22, 1974, residents of Gamar, Tenerife, reported a UFO and tall humanoid figures during a Canary Islands UFO wave. Witnesses described telepathic impressions of peace, and Spanish authorities investigated, finding no explanation. Skeptics suggest balloons or mirages, but the multiple witnesses and regional context make it a notable Spanish case, part of a broader wave that influenced European UFO research. 71. Stan Romanek abduction claims, 2000 to 2014, USA. Colorado resident Stan Romanek claimed multiple abductions starting in 2000, reporting telepathic messages and videos, including the 2003 video showing a gray-like figure. His accounts of aliens living covertly on Earth gained a following, but later legal issues, child pornography charges, discredited him. Skeptics cite hoaxes, but the case's media attention and alleged visual evidence made it notable, highlighting the role of video in modern UFO claims despite its controversial legacy. 72. Phoenixville Incident, 1952, USA. In July 1952, a group of Boy Scouts in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, reported a UFO landing and small beings. Local police investigated, finding no evidence, but the group's sincerity was noted. Skeptics suggest campfire stories or misidentification, but the multiple young witnesses and 1950s UFO wave context make it a lesser-known but credible group sighting, adding to the era's surge in UFO reports. 73. Manhattan Abduction, 1989, USA. On November 30th, 1989, Linda Napolitano claimed aliens abducted her from her Manhattan apartment, witnessed by others, including alleged UN officials in a car below. Hypnosis revealed telepathic communication and medical exams. Skeptics question the witnesses' credibility and suggest fabrication, but the urban setting and multiple accounts make it unique. Investigated by Bud Hopkins, the case sparked discussions about urban abductions and extraterrestrial surveillance. 74. Zundel Abduction, 1978, Canada. In 1978, controversial figure Ernst Zundel claimed telepathic contact with aliens posing as humans, warning of societal collapse. His later notoriety for Holocaust denial discredited him, but the case gained attention in UFO circles. Skeptics dismiss it as self-promotion, but its focus on disguised aliens reflects 1970s contactee trends, adding a minor but intriguing narrative to Canadian UFO lore. 75. Holloman AFB Landing, 1971, USA. On April 25, 1971, unconfirmed reports allege a UFO landed at Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico, with military personnel interacting with humanoid beings. A supposed film of the event surfaced but was deemed inconclusive. Skeptics suggest a hoax or misidentified aircraft, but the military context and persistent rumors make it a notable case in UFO conspiracy lore, tied to Area 51 speculation. 76. Chilean Air Force UAP video, 2014, Chile. In 2014, a Chilean Navy helicopter captured infrared footage of a UFO releasing a gas-like substance, tracked for 10 minutes. The Chilean government's CIFA investigated, ruling out conventional aircraft. Skeptics suggest a commercial plane, but the military-grade footage and official analysis make it a significant South American case. contributing to global UAP research and military involvement in UFO studies. 77. Kaikoura Lights, 1978, New Zealand. On December 21, 1978, pilots and a film crew aboard a cargo plane over New Zealand's Kaikoura coast reported multiple glowing objects pacing their aircraft. Confirmed by radar, the New Zealand Air Force investigated, finding no explanation. Skeptics suggest fishing boat lights or atmospheric phenomena, but the radar visual evidence and media coverage make it a landmark Southern Hemisphere case, widely studied for its credibility. 78. Phoenixville UFO Flap, 2008, USA. In October 2008, residents of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, reported multiple UFO sightings, with some claiming telepathic contact with beings. Local police and MUFON investigated, documenting lights and triangular craft. Skeptics suggest drones or misidentification, but the community's mass reports and modern context make it a notable regional flap, reflecting increased public reporting in the digital age. 79. Rendlesham Binary Code, 1980, UK. During the Rendlesham Forest incident, Sergeant Jim Peniston claimed to receive a telepathic binary code from the craft, later decoded to reveal coordinates and a message about humanity's future. Skeptics question the code's authenticity, suggesting fabrication, but its specificity and military context make it a unique extension of the Rendlesham case, fueling speculation about alien communication and intent. 80. Puerto Rico UAP Incident, 2013, USA. In 2013, U.S. Customs Service pilots near Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, recorded a UAP moving at high speeds and diving into the ocean. Thermal imaging showed no heat signature, and the object split into two. The Department of Homeland Security investigated, but offered no explanation. Skeptics suggest a balloon or drone, but the military footage and transmedium behavior make it a significant modern UAP case. 81. St. Petersburg Incident, 1997, Russia. In March 1997, residents of St. Petersburg, Russia, reported a large, silent triangular craft hovering over the city, with some claiming telepathic messages. Local military radar briefly detected an anomaly, but no official report was released. Skeptics suggest a secret aircraft test, but the mass sighting and post-Soviet context make it a notable Russian case, reflecting regional UFO interest. 82. Bentwaters UFO Chase, 1980, UK. During the Rendlesham incident, additional reports emerged of USAF personnel chasing smaller lights that split from the main craft, with radar anomalies noted. These accounts, less publicized than Halt's, add depth to the event. Skeptics suggest misidentification, but the military context and multiple witnesses reinforce Rendlesham's significance as a multifaceted military UFO encounter. 83. Indian Air Force Sighting, 2004, India. In 2004, Indian Air Force pilots near the Himalayas reported a white, glowing object moving at hypersonic speeds, tracked by radar. No hostile action was taken, and the military offered no explanation. Skeptics suggest a Chinese drone or atmospheric phenomenon, but the high-altitude sighting and military confirmation make it a rare South Asian case, contributing to global military UFO reports. 84. Sao Paulo UFO Flap, 1986, Brazil. On May 19, 1986, Brazilian Air Force jets chased 21 UFOs over Sao Paulo, tracked by radar and seen by pilots. Dubbed the Night of the UFOs, the military confirmed the objects but offered no explanation. Skeptics suggest weather phenomena or aircraft, but the scale and official acknowledgement make it a major South American military encounter, widely reported regionally. 85. Peru UFO Pursuit, 1980, Peru. On April 11, 1980, Peruvian Air Force pilot Oscar Santamaria Huertas chased a UFO near La Joya Air Base. Firing at it with no effect, the object, described as a glowing dome, outmaneuvered his jet. The Peruvian military documented the encounter, finding no explanation. Skeptics suggest a balloon, but the pilot's credibility and aggressive engagement make it a unique military case. 86. Zimbabwe Air Force Encounter, 1980 Zimbabwe. In 1980, Zimbabwean Air Force pilots reported a silver, disc-shaped UFO during a training mission, tracked briefly on radar. The military investigated but kept findings classified. Skeptics suggest a misidentified aircraft, but the post-independence context and pilot testimony add credibility. Less publicized than Ariel, it reinforces Zimbabwe's UFO history and military involvement. 87. French Cometa Report, 1999 France. In 1999, a group of French military officials and scientists released the Cometa Report, analyzing UFO sightings, including military encounters like a 1990 Mirage jet chase of a triangular object. The report suggested extraterrestrial origins, but was unofficial. Skeptics criticize its conclusions, but its military backing makes it a significant European contribution to UAP research, influencing global policy discussions. 88. Chilean Navy UAP sighting, 2010 Chile. In 2010, a Chilean Navy patrol reported a fast-moving, glowing object over the Pacific, captured on video. CIFA investigated, ruling out conventional aircraft. Skeptics suggest a meteor, but the military's detailed analysis and lack of explanation make it a notable South American case, complementing the 2014 Chilean UAP video and reinforcing regional military UFO interest. 89. Russian Navy UAP incident, 1989 USSR. In 1989, Soviet Navy personnel off the Kamchatka Peninsula reported a submerged object rising from the sea. Tracked by sonar and visually confirmed, the military classified the event, but leaks suggested an alien craft. Skeptics propose a natural gas release, but the underwater context and military involvement make it a rare Soviet naval UAP case, adding to Cold War UFO intrigue. 90. Australian Navy sighting, 1978, Australia. In 1978, Australian Navy personnel aboard HMAS Brisbane reported a bright, hovering object pacing the ship, confirmed by radar. The Navy investigated but offered no public explanation. Skeptics suggest a planet or equipment malfunction, but the military context and radar data make it a significant Australian case, complementing the Westall incident in national UFO lore. 91. Italian Air Force Encounter, 1979 Italy. In June 1979, Italian Air Force pilots near Rome reported a cigar-shaped UFO tracked on radar and outpacing their jets. The military investigated, finding no conventional explanation. Skeptics suggest a secret NATO test, but the pilot testimonies and radar confirmation make it a notable European military case, rarely discussed outside Italy. 92. South African Air Force sighting, 1996, South Africa. In 1996, South African Air Force pilots reported a fast-moving, metallic object near Pretoria, briefly tracked on radar. The military downplayed the event, citing possible weather phenomena. Skeptics agree, but the post-apartheid context and pilot credibility add intrigue. Paired with the Clara case, it reinforces South Africa's UFO history and military involvement. 93. Mexican Air Force UAP video, 2004 Mexico. On March 5, 2004, Mexican Air Force pilots recorded 11 infrared objects moving erratically over Campeche. The military released the footage, finding no explanation. Skeptics suggest oil platform flares, but the high-altitude behavior and official disclosure make it a significant Latin American case, contributing to global military UAP discussions. 94. British Airways UAP encounter, 1991 UK. In January 1991, a British Airways flight over the North Sea reported a near collision with a triangular object, briefly tracked by radar. The UK Civil Aviation Authority investigated but found no explanation. Skeptics suggest a military craft, but the commercial military context and lack of resolution make it a notable aviation case, adding to UK UFO reports. 95. Canadian Air Force sighting, 1950, Canada. In 1950, Royal Canadian Air Force pilots near Vancouver reported a saucer-shaped object outpacing their jets, with ground radar confirmation. The military classified the event, and no public explanation was released. Skeptics suggest a meteor, but the early Cold War context and pilot testimony make it a significant early Canadian military UFO case, predating Shag Harbor. 96. Argentine Navy UAP sighting, 1962, Argentina. In 1962, Argentine Navy personnel off the coast reported a glowing, disc-shaped object emerging from the sea. Tracked by sonar and visually confirmed, the Navy investigated but offered no explanation. Skeptics suggest a natural phenomenon, but the maritime context and military involvement make it a notable South American case, contributing to Argentina's UFO research history. 97. UMO contact case, 1960s to 1980s, Spain. From 1966, Spanish residents received detailed letters and telepathic messages from alleged UMO aliens, claiming to live among humans to study Earth. The documents described advanced technology and culture, but were later linked to a possible hoax by a Spanish scientist. The case's complexity, with hundreds of pages of material, inspired UFO research and cult followings, despite hoax suspicions, making it a unique example of alleged alien communication and covert integration. 98. Alex Collier's Andromedan claims, 1980s USA. Starting in the 1980s, former U.S. Army pilot Alex Collier claimed telepathic contact with Andromedan aliens living covertly on Earth, warning of global control and environmental collapse. His lectures attracted a New Age following, but no evidence supports his claims, and skeptics suggest fabrication for attention. Despite lack of verification, the case's detailed cosmology and conspiracy elements influenced UFO subcultures, reflecting the era's fascination with extraterrestrial guidance. 99. Finnish Air Force sighting, 1969, Finland. On April 7, 1969, Finnish Air Force pilots training over Pori Airport observed disc-shaped objects moving at high speeds, confirmed by radar 125 miles away. Initially suspected as a Soviet spy plane, the object's speed and lack of identification defied explanation. Finnish authorities investigated but offered no conclusion. Skeptics propose atmospheric phenomena, but the radar visual confirmation and military context make it a key European military UFO case, rarely discussed globally. 100. Holloman AFB landing, 1971 USA. On April 25, 1971, unconfirmed reports allege a UFO landed at Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico, with military personnel interacting with humanoid beings. A supposed film of the event surfaced, but was deemed inconclusive. Skeptics suggest a hoax or misidentified aircraft, but the military context and persistent rumors make it a notable case in UFO conspiracy lore, tied to Area 51 speculation. Conclusion: Roswell to Holloman, 100 UFO encounters that shaped history, from ancient skies to military reports. This top 100 list of UFO and space alien stories captures the vast and enduring fascination humanity has held with the mysteries of the cosmos, weaving a rich tapestry that stretches from ancient carvings and historical texts to contemporary military encounters and evolving scientific hypotheses. The compilation spans a wide array of incidents, drawing from diverse corners of the globe and different eras, each offering a unique glimpse into the phenomenon that has captivated imaginations for centuries. Included are tales of mysterious lights in the sky recorded by ancient civilizations, detailed accounts of alleged abductions, peaceful and hostile interactions between humans and otherworldly beings, reports of captured extraterrestrial entities, widespread global sightings, and documented military engagements with unidentified aerial phenomena. The stories range from the speculative to the seemingly credible, encompassing everything from prehistoric rock art that some interpret as evidence of early visitations to modern incidents involving advanced radar systems and physical evidence, like soil samples or debris. Notable cases feature mass sightings witnessed by thousands, as well as solitary encounters reported by individuals from all walks of life: pilots, farmers, scientists, and even high-ranking officials. These narratives often come with supporting evidence, such as photographic or video documentation, eyewitness testimonies, and in some instances, government investigations that have left more questions than answers. While mainstream scientific communities frequently explain these events as natural atmospheric phenomena, optical illusions, or deliberate hoaxes, the sheer volume of unexplained incidents challenges such dismissals. The credibility of many accounts is bolstered by the backgrounds of the witnesses, trained observers like military personnel and commercial pilots, whose detailed reports defy easy categorization. This persistence has fueled ongoing debates about the nature of these phenomena, with some suggesting they might point to advanced technology or even extraterrestrial intelligence. Beyond the incidents themselves, the cultural resonance of these stories is profound. They have inspired a wealth of science fiction films, best-selling novels, and countless documentaries, embedding themselves deeply in popular culture. Moreover, these tales have influenced public policy, prompting governments to establish investigative bodies and allocate resources to study unidentified aerial phenomena. The recent surge in legitimacy surrounding UAP research, highlighted by congressional hearings, declassified military footage, and official reports acknowledging the existence of objects defying known aerodynamic principles, has only intensified interest. These developments suggest a shift in perspective, where what was once relegated to the fringes of speculation is now part of serious discourse. As humanity continues to probe the unknown, these stories serve as a bridge between the past and the present, challenging our perceptions of reality and our place in the universe. They invite ongoing exploration into whether the skies above us hide visitors from distant worlds, or whether these phenomena represent something entirely different, perhaps a reflection of our own technological aspirations or psychological projections. Whether viewed as evidence of extraterrestrial life or as a mirror to human curiosity, this collection of UFO and space alien narratives remains a testament to our relentless quest to understand the mysteries that lie beyond our planet. This top 100 list of UFO and alien encounters examines reported extraterrestrial phenomena across history. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below to rank your favorite story or suggest omitted cases for future lists. Visit the Real Free News store for organic, non-GMO foods, water filtration systems, and gear at stellar prices. Tune into Real Free News Radio overnight for updates on UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, and paranormal topics. These accounts offer current insights into unexplained events, so return for further coverage of extraterrestrial and supernatural phenomena that's out of this world.